Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. This is Professor CA Kartik Iyer. Today we are going to talk on how to plan your studies so that you can score excellent marks in your examination. Okay. Now before that, just to announce few things, you can watch my special class for free on the Unacademy platform. Whenever I'm coming on Unacademy, you will get a notification on your phone and you can easily watch those lectures free of cost. You have to just download the app and you can watch those lectures. Okay. Link to the class is in the description, so you can use that link. You can ask your doubts away via screenshots and in writing. Now, voice chat with educators in a special live class is also available. You can take live quizzes and polls so that you can get real-time rankings. And finally, you can follow my profile and you can get notified whenever I am live. Okay. After that, you have subscription is for more than just one class. So it means that subscription is not just enrollment to a class. It means that you get a lot of facilities. You can learn with India's top educators. Live interactive lectures will be there. Structured courses and PDFs will be provided. You can take tests and quizzes. Personal coaching is possible. Printed books, evaluate test series, and discussion channels. But if you see, there are two subscriptions. One is Plus and one is Iconic. In Iconic, you get much more features. So ensure that if you're taking, then of course, Iconic is the better one. But look at the affordability, and then you can decide whether to go for the Plus one or the Iconic one. And then you can take a decision. Okay. The Plus subscription for 24 months, there is an offer going on. The total actually is 27,000, but you can go for an EMI facility where the cost will be 1125 per month. You can learn with India's top faculties at just rupees 1125 per month. That's an excellent steal. Okay. And you can also get 10% off by using the code YashasLive. Okay. Second is the Iconic subscription, which you can see here. For the Iconic subscription, it is 3188 per month, and you get the extra features that I just spoke about. Okay, this subscription is for 12 months. Again, you can get 10% off if you type the code YashasLive. You can unlock my special code that I'm using is YashasLive. That is for the students of Yashas Academy. And for everyone else, anybody who's joining Unacademy, and you can just simply use the code YashasLive. Also, Unacademy CA Inter Mega Combat free scholarship tests are now available. You can stand a chance to win iPad mini and a lot more win prizes worth INR rupees, that INR 1 crore. Okay. Study well so that you are able to do very well and use the platform Unacademy, one of the largest platforms for students learning. Okay. Now let's see and let's learn using our system so that you can score excellent marks. Now, the main point that we are looking today is how to plan your studies. Okay, so how do you plan your studies? My name is Professor CA Kartik Iyer. Okay, I'm here your guide in relation to guiding you all in relation to how to plan your studies. I mainly teach CA Inter Law and Audit, CA Final Law and Audit, and let's get into this part. Now we are looking at days pending. Okay, days pending. Every student should know how many days are pending before the examination. Okay. Now, how do you plan this? Very simple. This is the first step. So we'll take it in a very simple manner. Let's say your exam is going to start on December 6th. Okay. And this I'm talking for the December 2021 attempt students. Okay. And if your attempt is in May, then you can plan accordingly for May, but I'll show you how the planning is required to be done. Let's say for December 21, now you have a certain number of days left. Okay. So let's count the days properly. So you always go backwards. So you have December, let's say you can utilize maximum 2 days or 1 day in December. So I'm taking 2 days here. Let's say that December 1st and 2nd you can use for your studies, because December 3rd, 4th, 5th, you will want to give it for the first paper. That is the financial reporting if you're giving group 1. Okay. And if you're not giving group 1, if you're giving only group 2, then I'll tell you accordingly, then your days will increase. If you're doing group 2, let's do one thing, let's do for group 2 also. If group 2 you're doing, then your paper will start somewhere around 14th of December, correct? Around that time. So we can take around 9 days in December. You can take around 9 days in December, because you will get from December 1st to December 9th. You can prepare for one subject. December 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, maybe you will be giving for the first paper for you. Okay. Then you have January. For January, sorry, my bad. 1 second, please wait. You are going backwards. So next is November. November, you will have 30 days in this case as well as this case. So 30 days and 30 days. And then you will have October, you will have 31 days here as well as here. Then you will have September, which is just going to start in a few days. So you will have 30 days and 30 days. I'm assuming that you'll be watching this video at the end of August. So I'm not bringing in August here, because if I take up August, then it will be, you will have to plan very immediately. Okay, so let's take 30 days. Let's take in this manner. Now for the students who are giving both the groups or only group one, you are having, let's say, around 93 days for your examination. And the students who are only giving group two will be having 100 days exactly. Okay, so this is the way the days have been planned, are there for you. So the first step is to see the days pending. So whenever you're planning for your CA studies, just see the number of days which are pending, because this will really help you to give a proper analysis. Today, I'll be helping you with the analysis in relation to all the three scenarios. I'll be helping you with only if you're giving only group one, if you're giving only group two, and this also includes if you're giving both groups. Okay, if you're giving both groups, then also that will get covered here in the first column. Okay, so this is the way we are going to proceed ahead. Very simple. Okay, now what you can do is you can just pause the video and see the days planning that you have. Suppose you're seeing the video, let's say in mid-September, so it means that in September 15 days are already gone, so you have to calculate only 15. You're watching this video in October, so you ensure that you are calculating in the similar manner, but do this planning with me. If you're watching this video, let's say for the May exam, and if you're watching the video right now, then ensure that you are doing the planning for that as well. So what my suggestion is that just ensure that you're doing this before we proceed ahead. Okay, so just look at this area carefully and do your days planning before continuing. So you can pause the video right now and just jot this in the paper, because when we go ahead, you have to plan with me so that it is easy for you to analyze when you can do what. Okay, so go ahead, pause the video, and then we can continue. Now the second part is allot days for each subject. Okay, so as we saw that if you're going to give group one, or if you're giving both groups, then you have 93 days left. And if you're going to give only group two, then you have 100 days left. Okay, we are taking the days from the beginning of September. Okay, now out of these, you have to allot days for each subject. So first of all, out of these number of days, always keep some days as buffer days. Why I tell buffer days is sometimes in India, especially during these, during the November or December attempt in this case, you have a lot of festivities coming up. Okay, so generally you will see that 1 or 2 days are going in these festivities, relaxing, spending time with family, which is also required. So ensure that you're planning for that and it is noted in your plan, so that your plan doesn't go haywire just because you want to spend some time with the family and enjoy yourself. So that is also okay, but you have to plan for it. So 3 days, I'm keeping it aside here. And in this case, let's say I'm keeping aside another here also 3 days. So you can see here that we can get 90 days in this case. And in this case, we can get 97 days. Okay. Now, after that, when you have this in your place, now you can allot the days for each subject. Okay. Now, this will change to some extent. I'm going to write 92 times here. Why? Because in this case, this is going to get divided by different number of subjects. Because if you're giving group one, then you are giving 4 papers. If you're giving both groups, then you're giving 8 papers. Okay. But I have a simple logic here that if you are going to write any theory paper, then you have to ensure that you are properly allotting for the time and you have to do theory paper on a daily basis. I'll tell you in that planning. Because theory papers are something that if you study in a stretch, you will find it a little bit difficult to cope up with it. For example, if you give 8 days for theory subject, then you don't touch the theory subject for, let's say, a month, and then you're going to pick it up again. You will see that you have forgotten a lot of areas. So how to be continuously in touch with theory subjects so that you are able to remember it for the long term. So I'll be telling you about that. So here in this case, ensure that in group 1, remove the subject of law. In group 2, remove the subject of audit and EIS. Okay. So how do you plan for it? So let's say that in group 1, you are removing law. So you have your 3 subjects pending, and for both the groups, you will have here around 6 subjects pending because you're keeping aside audit and law both. EIS, let's say that you're doing it in a flow because then you can plan accordingly with that. If you want to keep EIS as a daily subject, then you can plan accordingly with that. Let's say that we are not taking EIS as a daily subject. We are taking only audit and law as daily subject. In the case of group 2, let's say you will have audit. So again, here you will have only 3 subjects that you are required to do on a continuous basis. Now, when you divide this, let's do the division. Here you'll get 30. In this case, you will get 15 days. In this case, you will get something 32 point, I think you will get 333 something. Okay. So we'll take that at 32 days. We always go conservative. Okay. So now what you have done basically is these are the days per subject that you have. Okay. These are the days per subject. So what we did is we divided by the subjects and these are your days per subject, days that you can give per subject. Now if you're thinking, wow, I have 30 days per subject, you're wrong because these are days per subject. Now you have to divide it into the reading, revision 1, revision 2 and revision 3. Okay, if you're planning to do 3 revisions or if you think time is short, what we can do is we can plan for 2 revisions. So you have reading plus revision 1 plus revision 2. So what will happen here is if these 30 days are there, these 30 days you have to make 3 spokes out of it. Okay, and 3 spokes will be for reading, revision 1 and revision 2. Similarly, 15 will get divided into 3 parts. Reading, revision 1, revision 2. Similarly, this also 32 will get divided into 3 parts. That is reading, revision 1, revision 2. This is the most important thing to do because in this case, you have to see how many days now you can give for each subject. That is how many days you can give for reading, how many days you can give for revision 1, how many days you can give for revision 2. This planning is something which is very, very crucial. There's many students lack because they don't realize that, okay, these many days are left, I have to divide in so many days. And when you see that figure of 30 days only or 15 days only per subject, you realize that you have a mountain to climb, correct? Now, let's say you are allotting the number of days. Now, this you can allot the way you want. For example, suppose if you feel that accounts, your subject of accounts, you are going to take time to do it. So reading, if you have 30 days pending, you can give good time for reading 1. Reading as in when you're practicing the sum for the first time. Let's say you have attended the lectures of the professor or Unacademy and you're practicing for the first time. So you can give more time for your preparation. Let's say you're doing audit with me. Okay. So if you're doing audit with me, you have to do audit has to be done on a daily basis. Okay. I'll tell you the daily planning subjects, how you need to go about it. So in this case, reading, let's say you're doing accounts. So let's say first time, when I say reading, it means you're practicing for the first time. Okay. So when you're doing it for the first time, let's say you're allotted in this case around 12 days. You're given 12 days in this case. Okay, 12 or let's say you're given 14 days in this case. So you're given yourself good 2 weeks so that you can prepare accounts, your classes are done and you are, or you're doing it with your classes, but you're giving yourself 14 days that, okay, I need to cover accounts within 14 days in a very proper manner. That is, if it is taught in class, then come home, practice. If it is taught in class, come home, practice, doing your reading, you're doing your practice of sums and everything. And you are going to complete that within how many days? Within 14 days. Okay. Now, after these 14 days are over, you have to just think that, okay, how many days do I need to give for revision 1 now? Because you cannot give the same number of days. You cannot keep it as 14, 14, 14 because you don't have that many days. So what you have to do is you can give here, let's say around 7 days. 7 days. And finally, for reading 2, you can give around 5 days. Now you'll be like, sir, but this comes to 28, not 30. Keep 2 days for going through the revision test papers, the mock test papers. Okay, always go through those so that you are more confident in the examination. So here, after your revision 1 is done, when you get a little bit of more time, always for all the subjects, you need to ensure that you're giving time for RTP and mock test papers. And that's where these additional 2 days will come. So these are exact planning of 30 days. This is your exact planning of 30 days that you are going to do. Okay. Now this is for account. You need to do this for each and every subject. Okay. Each and every subject. Regarding how to go about for audit and law, I'll tell you, don't worry. But this is how you need to go about regarding each and every subject. Okay. Now, if you have 15 days pending, then you have to allot in the same way. Let's say we give around 7 days. Then we are giving 4 days. And then we are giving 3 days. And you can see here, we have completed 14. And in the middle, you can give 1 day for your RTP and mock test papers. So For students who are giving both the groups, you will have less number of days, of course, because you will have to ensure that you're studying both the groups properly. So that is why you will see it is automatically, almost half days you will get for each of your reading, revision 1, revision 2, and your RTP mock test revisions. Okay. Then if you are doing group 2, you have some extra days because you have 32 days per subject. You can invest that very well. You can take one more extra day in reading, ensure that whatever areas you're studying are speak and span, no areas are left in option. Everything is done properly. So because you have greater time for preparation. Greater time of preparation is a double-edged sword, okay? Because I've seen students who get more time for revision. They can also waste their time thinking that, okay, I have so many days left, no problem at all. They can go in that kind of attitude. Or the students can have the attitude of, no, I've got extra number of days. Let me just go for excellent marks, okay? So you can see both the type of students. Of course, it is beneficial to be in the second category. And you should set your mind also for a higher score if you have more number of days left, okay, per subject. Then after 15 days, you can give around 8 days here. Okay, you can give around 8 days here. And then again, you can give around 6 days in this case. Okay, 6 days. And you will get this, that is, you will get around 3 days for your RTP and mock test papers. Okay, so you can see here that in this way, you can plan your studies. This is what I have shown is for the account subject. So like that, you have to plan for each and every subject. Mostly it will be the same. Let's say you can put the same for all the subjects, same number of days and everything. You can do it properly and so that your studies are done in an effective manner. Also, one more extra thing. Let's say if you are very good with a subject or you know that, okay, this subject I know very well. So you can just shuffle between these 30 days. For example, if you have currently what we have done is you have 3 subjects with 30 days, right? You have 3 subjects here with 30 days. You have 3 subjects here with 30 days. Okay. So now if you have 3 subjects with 30 days, you can easily say that, okay, I have a total of 90 days with me, correct? From the 90 days, you can say that if a subject is very strong, if you are already, you have confidence that, okay, I know this properly, even before September starts, then what you can do is you can just allot this subject maybe around 24 days. So you have saved 6 days. This 6 days, you can just invest in some other subject. Maybe you can give a subject that is very weak. You can give the other 2 subjects 33 days, 30 days each. So what you're doing is, in the end, your total is 90 days. But you have inter-shuffled the days, okay, looking at your strengths and weaknesses. Now, this the students can do on their individual basis. So ensure that you're doing this also very closely. And then you're planning. Then you will have the spokes here. You will have for reading, revision 1, revision 2, reading, revision 1, revision 2, reading, revision 1, revision 2, and also some days for going through the revision test papers and the mock test papers, okay. So this is the way the student need to plan. Whenever I say this plan, where has this come from? This has come from speaking to rankers, speaking to students who study in a very extraordinary manner. This has come from the students who are very specific about planning and then executing it, who are very specific about planning and ensuring that they have days properly for some occasions. Now, this buffer days came from the idea that some students have told me, especially a CA inter rank holder had told me that, sir, I had kept some buffer days because there was a function in my family. So I had planned for that too. So that is why you can see here that these 3 days we have kept on the side. Also, there can be an issue that you may fall ill. For that also, buffer days are very important, that if you fall ill, you should not get worried that, oh God, I'm losing my days here. So for that also, you can take 1 or 2 extra days because it is possible because of the change in climate, or maybe you have eaten something wrong, there is some issue, and because of that you are unwell. Some problems can happen anytime. So always keep a buffer for that, so that when you are recovering, you are not stressing about, oh my, this part is left, that part is left. You're not stressing about that. Okay. So ensure that you are allotting days for each subject in this manner so that your studies are going on in a very smooth way. Okay. What I'll request you all to do is go through the areas and your subjects and plan in this manner for each and every subject. Okay. Take your time. In that, I'll also talk to you about how to give audit and law or theory subjects, basically, specific days, or how you have to do it, not specifically. You have to do it in a continuous manner so that you're studying it effectively. The theory papers are required to be studied effectively. So how you need to encourage that. Okay. So pause the video here. Do your day-wise planning, do your subject planning, and allot subjects for each day. Do the planning of reading, revision 1, revision 2, and the time that you're going to give for RTP and mock test papers. Keep this in place. And then after that, I'll tell you what is the next step and how do you proceed ahead with your studies. Okay. So please do the needful. Okay, now the next area is do the theory subjects daily. Now, why should you do your theory subjects on a daily basis? Okay, what is the main intention? What happens is with students, when they do the theory subjects, they are in a great flow. So let's take this as a timeline. Okay, let's take this as a timeline. So when they are doing the theory subjects, they are in a great flow and they are giving good times here for the theory subjects. After that, suddenly they leave the theory subject and they focus on other area, practical subject, which is also the right thing to do. And it means that they are basically at this level with basically almost no touch of the theory subjects for around close to a month. Then again, what they are expecting is that their memorizing skills will be, or their remembering power will be so good that they'll again reach this level. And what happens here is it is not like that. The students here, when they start again, they have to again build up on the theory subject. Again, they have to get into the routine, and again they have to reach this level, and that takes a few days. And again, they have to go to this cycle. Again, this is going to drop because again they are going to leave the theory subject and focus on the other area. Now you can pick up the example of any law, audit, or any other subject. So this becomes a problem because it does not assure daily studies or does not assure proper revision, and this is not beneficial. This I've seen with many students. So now what is the requirement? Okay, so let's see and understand how should the student go about it. Okay, so my suggestion is that do theory subjects daily. Okay, now when should you pick the theory subject? One major issue that students tell me very honestly that, sir, theory subjects sometimes when we do at home, sir, at that time we feel little sleepy, sir. So what should I do, sir? So thing is, you have to do it after you complete your sleep. Very simple. You have to do the theory subjects after you complete your sleep. So it means when you're doing theory subjects, do it after sleep. So when I say after sleep, it means that after your night sleep, let's say you're sleeping at 11 p.m. and you're getting up at, let's say, 6 a.m. So theory subject should be started immediately. So immediately means when you get up at 6 a.m., maybe after you freshen up, wash your face, brush your teeth and everything. Now, immediately start your study. So that is maximum you can delay is for 10-15 minutes and you have to start maximum at 6:15 a.m. From 6:15 a.m. to 9:15 a.m., there has to be a continuous slot that you are able to put in. And ensure that you are studying very well in this slot. This is something that students don't know, and this is a golden trick. Okay, now in these 3 hours, give 1.5 hours if you're giving both the groups, 1.5 hours for law and 1.5 hours for audit if you're giving only one group. Then do the theory part of that group. For example, if you're doing only group 1, then you can take up the theory part of taxation, okay, and the theory part and law, which is the theory subject. You can take both of these, okay, for 1.5 hours, 1.5 hours. If you're doing only group 2, then you can take up audit and EIS 1.5 hours, 1.5 hours. But ensure that every day for 1.5 hours, you are giving for these theory areas. The reason being, you will not be required to allot separate days for audit or law, or if you're giving only group 1, then law and the theory part of taxation, or if you're giving only group 2, then audit and EIS. So you will not be required to then focus separately, give separate days. For example, when we saw here, you are not required to give separate days. See, in subjects also, we are not giving the days specifically for the theory subjects, because theory subjects you are doing every day. So there is a daily discipline. You have to get up in the morning, do this. You have to get up in the morning, do this. When your morning becomes predictable, you find much more security that, okay, that in the morning I have to get up and do this. I have to get up and do this. That is what enables you to study in a much better manner. That is what enables you to study in a much better manner, because the mornings become predictable. The more predictable your mornings are, the more effective your studies will be, the more secured you will feel in your studies. Otherwise, every day in the morning you get up like, what should I do today? I have to complete this area, and you will be in that mood. So from 6:15 to 9:15, just secure for theory subjects. Now let's say if a student has the habit of getting up at 5 a.m., then 5 to 8. Okay, if you are getting up at 8 a.m., which I think is late, but still if you're getting up at 8 a.m., then 8 to 11. Whenever you get up, 3 hours, first thing you have to give for theory subjects. Okay, ensure that this is secured and this you're doing it on a daily basis. You're planning it properly and doing it on daily basis. Okay, this is something which is very important, so that you are doing it properly. Okay, now let's say if you think that, sir, what I can do is I want to give 2 hours here. So that is also okay. Let's say 6:15 to 8:15 a.m. you are giving here 2 hours. So you have given here 2 hours. Let's say you have the habit of taking an afternoon nap. So let's say you are taking a nap in the afternoon. So after the nap in the afternoon, give 1 hour again in the afternoon for a theory subject. Let's say if you're sleeping from 2 to 3 or 2:30 to 3, then 3 to 4, you're studying the theory subject. So you're accommodating 1 hour here. But in the end, what you're doing, you're ensuring that you're studying that 3 hours of theory subjects every day so that your routine is set. Okay. Get into any routine. Okay. If you're into the habit of taking afternoon naps, then ensure that you are doing this. I prefer the second part, that is where you're giving 2 hours and then 1 hour also in the afternoon, so that after your sleep, you're doing the theory subjects. So at that time, you're very fresh because you have just slept. So you're very fresh. You can go ahead with the theory part. And this routine will take a little bit of time, to get used to it. But once you're, finding it very simple, you will find that it is a bliss to study in this manner. Okay. When I do theory subjects daily, that is my next tip in relation to planning. Now, make a micro plan. Okay, how do you make a micro plan? Micro plan means what? Whatever we have done till now is on a macro basis. 93 days total, 100 days. Then after that, we are seeing here that you have to give subject-wise. Reading you have to give 14 days, and for revision 7 days, 2 days for RTP mock test papers, and then 5 days for revision 2. So when you do in this manner, you are basically doing something called as we are basically making something called as a macro plan. Macro as in on a general basis. Okay, in this also theory subject we are going to give 3 hours is on a general basis. Now, how do you get to the micro plan? Now, micro plan is the key, because micro plan is a signal to your brain regarding how serious you are in relation to studying that part. So let's see this area now. Let's see this area. Now, whenever you study a micro plan, and you have to see that how do I get to a point where I feel very ensured about my marks. Okay, that is when you sit with your notes and you do proper day-wise and slot-wise planning. Okay, so micro plan, the first point that I'm going to talk about is day-wise. And inside the day-wise, you're going to see something called as slot-wise. Day-wise and slot-wise. Okay, so first of all, day-wise. Okay, day-wise is nothing but when you have, let's say, 14 days of reading time. Okay, I'll take this as the example. When you have these 14 days of reading time, how do you ensure that in these 14 days you're studying everything of the subject? Okay, so ensure that you have you have all your chapters in place. Okay, and you're allotting days per chapter. So what you'll do, let's say you're taking accounts. And accounts, you can see all the chapters name. You open the index, you can see chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, so on. And it, let's say, goes up to chapter number, let's say 13. Okay, that's taking an example. Now, whichever professor you are learning from, every professor will have a different index. Maybe they have split up a big chapter into 2 parts. It is possible. For example, many professors take branch accounts into 2 parts. Some professors take branch account as one as a whole. Some professors take branch accounts and foreign branch. They treat it as a separate part. So it is possible that you may take it as 2 chapters. So it depends on whatever your index is. Okay. So whatever is your index. Now, if you're allotting 14 days, you have to simply write here the amount of the number of days you are willing to allot it. So this is the micro plan that you get to. Let's say chapter 1, you are saying that, okay, this should get over in, let's say, half day. So you're giving half day here. This should get over in, let's say, 1/4 day. So you're giving 1/4 day here. There's a big one. Let's say it's a chapter 3. So you think that it's a big one. So you're giving here, let's say, around 2 days here for your preparation. Then let's say you have 4 you have to give here 1 day. So on and so forth. You will keep on allotting the days. Okay. Also, one more thing, break the chapters into as many small points as possible. Okay. So if you're in your index, if they have just given, for example, accounting standards. Now, don't take accounting standards as one chapter. Break all the accounting standards, that are there. Treat each accounting standard as a separate chapter. Okay. Then your studies in relation to accounting standards will be done in a proper way. Simple. Similarly, in audit, when you're doing standards on auditing, don't take standards on auditing as a whole, because standards on auditing is very big. So you have to take each and every standard as a different chapter, so that when you're studying it, you are allotting that much time to it in a proper manner. Okay. So in this way, you will do this chapter-wise planning. It is very, very important that you know that how much time should each chapter be given. Why I'm telling you this is, suppose if you are given one chapter half a day, then your brain knows this. Your brain is tuned that, okay, I have to give half a day for this. That's it. It doesn't deserve more than that. So it means that you will not sit with a chapter and for which half a day is only required, and you're sitting with it for the entire day. And at the end of the day, you're just finishing it off and then becoming very happy. You should not be happy because you had to give it only half day, but you have given an entire day for it and you have wasted time. So when you say half day, it puts a small kind of pressure on your brain, which is a good pressure, which is something which is very important for the students, which tells your brain that, okay, I need to complete this within that half day slot. Okay, within that half day slot. Okay. Now let's say 1 day slot is for you around 12 hours is 1 day slot. So half day will be 6 hours. 1/4 day will be around 3 hours. Okay. So let's say this chapter you have to complete within 6 hours. So that is why you have written here half day. This chapter, let's say you're going to do within 1/4 day, that is nothing but 3 hours. So 2 days, it means that you will take around 24 hours to complete this chapter from your end, okay? Because it's a big chapter. So in this way, you're doing the planning bit, okay? Now what is slot wise? Okay, slot wise. So for slot wise, you need to prepare your own schedule first, okay? Now what is the schedule that I recommend for the students? I recommend the students to go very heavy in the morning areas and then taper it down till the afternoon, take a nap, and then again start heavy and then finish your day. Okay. So the planning goes in this manner. Whenever you get up in the morning, as I told you, whenever you are up in the morning, whatever time you get up, ensure that 3 hours you're giving straight. Okay. After your morning routine is done, 3 hours, ensure that you are studying properly. And this will be mainly focusing, I'm writing a T next to it. It means that we'll be mainly focusing on the theory subjects, as I told you. Okay. After that, you can, have your breakfast, relax for some time, take if you're starting the morning without taking a bath, then 3 hours done with the theory subjects, then take a bath, take your, have your breakfast and everything, and then continue again. Okay. After this, you have to ensure that you're putting in 2.5 hours. And this is practical. This is your golden time. Okay. Because let's say you're getting up at 6. Okay. Stay with me. 6 to 9, you will be studying. Correct. After 9, maybe from 9 to 10, you're having a breakfast, you're relaxing for some time. Okay. So 9 to 10, you're relaxing for some time. 9 to 10, a break time. And then you're again putting in 2.5 hours, that is 10 to 12:30. Okay. Now this is very crucial because this assures that you have started great. You have started in a very good manner. After that, have your lunch, be peaceful, no problem at all. Have your lunch and relax again for some time because you have studied. Maybe you can take a nap also and then again get activated. Let's say at around 2:30. Okay. So around 12:30 to 2:30. Have your lunch, relax for some time, take a nap. Okay, all these things you do. And then at 2:30, when you're again activated, again put in a 3-hour slot. Okay, so again you put in here a 3-hour slot. Now these 3 hours, if you're in the habit of taking a nap here, then 1 hour will be for theory and the other for practical, as you have to divide. Here above also, your 3 hour theory can include your daily studies of 3 hours, daily studies of 2 hours, which I had just told you here. Okay, daily studies of 2 hours. And then one more theory area that is there for another 1 hour. Okay, any other areas, let's say accounting standards, if you have to go through the theory, then you can do that for an hour. Or FM, if you have to go through the theory, then that maybe you can give 1 hour. So that is something like that you can plan. And this is again a practical area. This again you have to give it for a theory subject. You can start with the theory subject of 1 hour, then you can shift to practical, even that is okay. So this is in the afternoon time. So let's say you have studied from 2:30. So from 12:30 to 2:30 was your break time. Then 2:30 to 5:30, you're doing the theory areas or theory plus practical in whatever manner you want. Okay. So this is your time till 5:30. Now go for a walk. Okay. Relax and come. Now you have done your hard work. You're studying in a proper manner. Relax and come. And after coming back, let's say you're back at 6:30 or something, again put in a 2.5 hour slot. And this will take you till your 9 o'clock. Okay. So this is again, you can study practical. So it will take you till 9 o'clock. And till 9 o'clock, now your preparation is properly done. Okay. Now, last 1 hour of the day, do something that you really enjoy. Okay. So there is some area or some topic that you really enjoy. I call this for my students, I tell them that this is our oomph area. Oomph. Oomph means one of my favorites. Okay. One of my favorites. So give last 1 hour for your oomph area and you will see that we have properly planned for 12 hours of studies in the day. We have properly planned for 12 hours of studies during the day. Okay. So this is the slots that you put in. Now, how do things fit in? When your slots are ready, now if you are given chapter 1 if you have given chapter 1 half a day, then you are basically telling that it will take around 6 hours to study this. It will basically take around 6 hours to study this, because out of 12 hours, you have to allot 6 hours for this. So out of this day, you have to then plan, okay, then when you are doing the planning, let's say for that particular day. For example, let's say you are planning for 1st of September 2021. In that, you have decided that your morning 6 to 9, you have a slot. Okay, you have morning 6 to 9, you have a slot, and then 2.5 hours, and there's 1 hour in the end. You're going to do something that you like, correct? So these 6 hours, you can utilize these 6 hours, 2.5, and 1. You can utilize for completing this 6 hours, that is half day that you are given for one chapter. So you are completing this chapter in this slot, in this time. Okay. Similarly, you have to plan for the other chapters. Any chapter that is taking 2 days, then you have to ensure that you are basically giving 24 hours to this subject, this area, because that is how, because 12 days you are giving. So 24 hours, you have to plan it out, and you have to ensure that this chapter is done. Okay. So basically, you are going to allot the number of hours and ensure that you are doing it properly. Okay. So this is how you plan, so that your plan becomes flawless. It is something that you can study on a regular basis, something that you can study in a way that will really help you to score great marks. Okay. Now here there can be a confusion that, sir, here if you have said 24 hours and if you have written 2 days, but sir, we have to do theory subject also, then how should I plan? Then you have to understand that 2 days will not become 2 days, because if you are doing theory subjects also, then this 2 days will be more number of days. Let's say if you practical subjects, you are giving 6 hours in a day, correct? So this will become 4 days then. This will become 4 days because you are giving that much time here. Okay. So accordingly, what you have to do is simply, if you are doing it on an hour basis, then I will suggest that if you are doing it on an hour basis, then keep hours as the base. Okay. Keep hours as the base. So if you are allotting 14 days per subject, then basically you are giving 14 days into so and so hours. That is 12 hours a day. And these many hours you have to complete a subject. When you get down to the number of hours, then you can simply plan that, okay, this chapter should get over in these many hours, this chapter should get over in these many hours, this chapter should get over in these many hours. And when you have that, then it is easy to allot, because here also it is in hours format. Here also when you are planning it in hours format. So you can easily you have to just pick it up and put it in a slot, pick it up and put it in a slot. And that's how your day-wise planning should take place. You should always plan for 3 days. Okay. So you are on 1st of September, you should know what you're going to study on 1st, what you're going to study on 2nd, and what you're going to study on 3rd. On 2nd, you should have clear in your mind what you're going to study on 2nd, what you're going to study on 3rd, what you're going to study on 4th. On 3rd, you should know about 3rd, 4th, 5th. On 4th, you should know about 4th, 5th, 6th. In this manner, every 3 days ahead, you should have your micro plan ready. Okay, we already have the macro plan ready, but you should have your micro. What time I'm going to study what, that should be clearly written properly in your for the day-wise planning. Also, I feel that students who plan it in their mind, I know many students here will be planning it in their mind that, sir, I will I'll do this today. And they just say it in their mind. And when they say it in their mind, you know that, okay, this is something that students are going to falter regarding this. The reason being is that they are going to just think in their mind, and at the end of the day, when they think, okay, what do I need to study today? I need to study this is, oh God, I forgot this one. Okay, this I'll do tomorrow. And this, habit of putting the things on the next day. Okay, next day is there. Okay, I'll study tomorrow, and let me see on the next day. When you push things ahead, you're creating something called as a backlog. Backlog as in you are just lifting more and more weight on your shoulders, more and more portion on your shoulders, and you're going ahead. Then what do students do? Simple stuff is to leave something in option, because if you have that burden that I have to complete this, if you have that burden on you, then the most simplest thing that the students do is, okay, let me do one thing. Let me, not study this right now. Let me study this later. Or if it goes much beyond the date of completion, then what happens is the student in the end says that I am going to leave this in option. Let me not study this. Let me not study this at all. When you don't study this, when you don't study it, it goes in option. Putting in option is the worst thing to do, because you're giving simple marks away. ICI, when it asks a simple question to you, you're not able to answer it because you have put that in option. So that is why I always tell the students that never leave anything in option. Keep your micro plan ready. Ensure that you're hitting every time of the macro plan. Keep the break time with you, so that whenever you want to, even if you want to create a buffer within that day, then you have the break slot is there. For example, that morning walk you have kept for 1 hour. Instead of that, if someday you have to study more, ensure that the morning walk is then the evening walk is there. That you're giving it only half an hour and you're studying the balance half an hour, because you have to complete the buffer area. So you have to give some time out of it. So you have to ensure that you're having some buffer time during the day also, So that if something is going pending during that day, you're completing during that time. And every day you have to keep completing your slots, keep completing your slots. That pressure has to be there. Okay, without pressure, your work will not get done. Your student says, sir, I want to study without pressure, sir. Then I'm sorry, then CA course is not meant for you, because in CA course there will be pressure of time. You have to complete the area within some time, and you have to ensure that it is completed properly. So my dear student, ensure that you're applying this micro plan, ensuring that you're studying in a very proper manner. Okay, so prepare a micro plan for yourself. Go in this way. Prepare a micro plan for all the areas. So this is hard work. Okay, planning itself takes around 5 to 6 hours. I've seen that planning takes 5 to 6 hours. But if you have a good planning place, like how I'm suggesting you, it makes your studies smoother. It makes your plan and studies go hand in hand. Your execution is much better. You're able to complete your targets. At the end, you don't feel that, oh, I missed out on this, I missed out on that. That you don't feel. So that is why you have to ensure that you're studying in an effective way. Okay, simple. I hope it is very, very helpful. So again, pause the video and make a micro plan for yourself so that it is very easy for you. Okay, the next one is how should you plan your day? Okay, now when you plan your day, you have to ensure that you're studying in a manner that you're finding it very, very easy. Okay, so planning your day, I've already spoken on that, but here I'm going to give you some tips. Okay, always have 2 subjects minimum with you so that your studying output is much better. When you are already dividing it in theory and practical, automatically it will give you 2 subjects for the day. If you want to study more subjects in a day, you can do that, but you have to ensure that your daily plan is not affected because of that, and the hours that you have allotted are fitting in properly. Second, whenever you plan your day, ensure that you are exercising. Okay, so you're studying minimum 2 subjects. So the first advice that I would like to give you is that minimum 2 subjects you should pick up, because that will give you that will help you to give your brain a break from the previous subject and then shift to the next subject. Now again, you can bring the previous subject again back, but shuffle between these 2 so that you're studying in a very effective way. Okay, your brain is finding it very helpful. It doesn't become monotonous basically. Okay, so 2 subjects. Then ensure that you are giving some time for some kind of an exercise. Okay, some kind of an exercise. Now, why is this important? You can go for a walk, you can go for a run, you can go to the gym, you can simply do some small exercise at home like skipping or push-ups or something like that. But ensure that you are exercising. Okay, if it is allowed in your city that you can go out and walk, then definitely go out and walk. You will get some fresh air. You will feel very fresh. Also, you need to create some tiredness in your body. I'll come on that. Don't worry. But you need to create some kind of tiredness in your body. Just don't sit at home. And break time should not be utilized only with your phone. Okay, if I tell very clearly, unless it is used for studies, your phone for the examination is your enemy. Okay, because what happens is when you pick up your phone, you are not only investing time, you're putting that your studying time into that, but also you tend to then deviate from that and go to WhatsApp, Instagram, all these YouTube, all these apps. You may just go there, watch a video of 10 minutes. And suddenly you realize that when your studies was going in great flow, 10 minutes you have just lost because you have just gone on YouTube and just chilled and watched the video. So you understand here that whenever you get some break time, just do some kind of an exercise. Okay, maybe you can just go for a walk, go for a run. Okay, or if you play some sport, then play that sport. That's the best thing to do. Okay, so ensure that you're doing that. For example, I used to play badminton for around 1 hour, half an hour to 1 hour. I used to play cricket during this time. So there were 3 friends in my locality who were giving the CA exams. So we decided that during the break time, we'll play badminton or we'll play cricket, something like that, so that we are fresh and we are again going back to studies. It has one more advantage. I'll tell you that later. So you need to exercise and give some time for your physical exertion. Okay. One more area, and that is very, very important, and that is eat properly. Okay, so why do I tell in plan your day to eat properly? It is because you have to ensure that nutrition is the first thing that will give you excellent marks. It is the first thing. You will say, no, sir, if I study well, I'll get marks. But what about nutrition? If you don't have energy, how will you study? So ensure that you're eating properly. Okay, you're eating something that is healthy. You're eating something that is also not fattening. You see many CA students, and many CA students tell me about this, sir, before the CA exam started, before my preparation started, sir, I was very fit, sir. But during these, studying time, sir, I became very, very lazy, and, I started putting on weight. Then because of obesity and all, I'm facing issues now. I'm getting some pains in my joints and everything, and all these things they tell. And that is true also. The reason being that when you put on weight, you automatically become lazy. Your output of course reduces, and that is a fact that has been seen. It is also proven. So you have to ensure that you are very, very fit. You are very, very alert about your fitness, and you're studying in a very proper manner. Okay. So you have to ensure that you're eating properly, eat something healthy, avoid junk food, avoid eating too much of sweets. Okay. Sometimes, especially during this time. Okay. Now we have October, November coming up. So, in India that you have all these festivities coming up. So a lot of sweets will be made, and you will like to devour with those in those sweets, and you will like to eat a lot of sweets and enjoy yourself, and all these things can take place. But you have to tell yourself that, okay, no, I have to ensure that I am, eating properly. I have to ensure that I'm healthy. You have to maintain a balance between eating and exercising so that your day is going well. Okay. Last area in relation to how to plan your day, and something which I think is very, very important for any CA student, and that is their sleep. So sleep and studies both are equally important. Okay. Many students say, sir, but what I do is, sir, I sleep for 4 hours a day. And then, sir, I again sleep for 4 hours again. And sir, I do this shift of 4 plus 4 hours. But ask yourself, is your body accepting that? Okay. Is your body naturally accepting that? When you sleep in the afternoon for a long time, for 4 hours or something, maybe it is coming from a place that maybe you are not slept in the night, so your body is tired and asking you to rest for some time. But it is against the biological clock. Okay, humans are not designed to sleep in the afternoon or during the day. Humans are designed to sleep at night. But let's say you are getting up very early in the morning and you feel tired. Then afternoon, of course, you can take a nap. That is why in our schedule also, I've given a nap. When I say a nap, maximum 1 hour. Okay, it should not be more than that. Nap, there is a difference between nap and slumber. Nap is maximum 1 hour. You're again up and you're again with your routine. But if you go into slumber of 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, getting up from sleeping from 2 to 5 and getting up and like, sir, I'm fresh now and I'll study. That is something that you should not have in your main routine, because you are forcing your brain to shut down completely. Get up, shut down, get up, shut down, get up, and doing that routine, your brain get disturbed. You take a nap, your brain knows that, okay, this is just a simple relaxing rest time, and you will be up and you will be able to study properly. So this is something that I don't recommend. Okay, I know many students do. I don't recommend. There is one more thing that I don't recommend, and that is complete night studies. Complete night studies. I do not recommend that. Why? I have studied both during the night time as well as the daytime. I know the effects of studies during the night time and the daytime. I'll tell you one thing very honestly. Okay. This I've also discussed with not only my experience, I've also discussed with many students and many parents also, okay, of the students. Also discussed with many of my friends when I was studying for my CA course. So what used to happen is, we always think that studying in the night, wow, I'm putting extra while I'm studying in the night. But if you see the output, what you have studied in the night versus what you study during the day, it is genuinely day and night. Okay. So what you study during the day, your output is, especially that early morning slot, the output is double of what happens in the night. At night, you know that you're studying, you know that you're sitting and studying at one place. But the issue is that output is not the same. The output is a little less or much lesser than what happens during the day. You might be having a contrarian view and you might be of the opinion, no, sir, I study at night, everything is proper. But that is where you have to try and study during the day. I think the output will be much better. Okay. I would like to discuss and know your point on this in the chat area. You can share your thoughts, but you have to ensure that you are studying in a way where your sleep is not getting affected. Okay. Many students compromise on their sleep for just 5 hours during the day. That's, sir, I'll study, sir. The thing is, when you sleep for only 5 hours, your brain is not, very, very active. Your brain has become very tired. It is like, okay, can you just take a rest? It is not, accepting things very easily. Just do a small experiment on yourself. Try to give yourself a night sleep of just 5 hours. Get up in the morning, do your studies. Also try to give yourself a night sleep of 7 hours. Okay, get up in the morning and do your studies and see the difference. You can clearly see that when you get up in the morning after 7 hours of sleep, and then when you study, your brain is much more focused. You are more in tune. You have in one way completed your sleep, and your brain is much more, accepting of whatever you're studying. But if you sleep just for 5 hours, maybe for the first initial half an hour, 1 hour, you'll be fine. But after that, you will start yawning. You will be like, what should I do now? And you will be like, no, I just want some rest. I'll just sleep for some more time. That kind of thing starts happening. Okay, so you have to ensure that you're sleeping properly. Very important thing. Okay, it's something that students ignore, or students say, okay, this I'll manage, but it is something that is proportional to your study. It is like, for example, if a cricketer is there, if a cricketer does not sleep properly, he will not be able to play properly because the focus, attention will not be there. He'll get out if he's batting. He'll not bowl well if he's bowling. But if a person has completed his sleep, his energy is full, his body is restored, his brain is functioning well. If your brain functions well, your body cycle is retained. It means that you will be at your full capacity to go ahead and win that day. Okay. So what I ensure, if you want to know from me, I ensure a good slot of 7 hours plus around 30 minutes to 45 minutes of sleep in the afternoon, or 1 hour sleep in the afternoon, whatever. Okay. 30 minutes to 1 hour sleep in the afternoon. This is something that I recommend. This will be great if you can implement in your routine. You're sleeping at 11 o'clock in the night, get up at 6. If you're sleeping at 12 o'clock in the night, get up at 7. If you're sleeping at 10 o'clock in the night, get up at 5. Put in a 7 hours of good sleep and then 30 minutes to 1 hour in the afternoon. This will really help your studies. Okay, this is a very important advice. Next is reviewing your plan. Okay, whenever you plan in audit, also we see audit planning, that is essay 300. We also see reviewing your plan. Okay, plan is not something that is constant. Plan may change. You have to keep, abreast with what is going on and what changes your plan should take place in your plan. Example, if you have given, let's say, 15 days for a subject, but if you know that this can get over in 13 days itself, then don't extend it by 15 days. Okay, don't extend it till 15 days. Ensure that you're saving those 2 days and wrapping this up in 13 days itself. So your planning will change accordingly, and you're telling yourself that, okay, this will be done. Also, be very, very alert. Let's say you have given a subject 11 days and you know that, no, I need a few extra days so that I can complete it, and you know that it is going to take you 14 days. Then you have to find those extra 3 days from some other subject, because remember, when you had done this planning, you have to take the hours from some other subject, which we had done here. You have to take the hours from some other subject and give it to the other subject. So that is a give and take should take place. So you have to be very, very careful, and you should plan in such a way that if you're giving 3 days extra, then you have to take 3 days from other subjects. Okay, so that you need to do. Okay, so you have to review your plan and go ahead with it in a proper manner. Simple, very easy, very simple. But that is in relation to reviewing your plan. Easy, clear. Now, if there are any issues that you wish to discuss, if there are any matters that you feel like, sir, I want some guidance related to these areas, can you please help me out? You can put it in the chat area below. Okay, after every exam, I'm basically located in Mumbai. So after every exam, there are many students who come and meet me. And basically their main intention is, sir, how should I strategize? How should I, plan so that I can clear the examination? And we sit and make a strategy. So if you want any help in the strategy, put it in the chat area below. We'll try to see that your problem is solved in the chat area itself. Any specific issue that you feel that, sir, this, can you help me out? This is not going proper for me. What should I do? Then I can help you out in that. Okay. Also, there will be a video that I'll be making in relation to distractions, basically what you should be away from. And it will come up in the coming months so that you are studying in a very effective manner. Okay. One most important thing, and that is, if you are having any kind of suggestions, just a second. If you are having any kind of suggestions in relation to, sir, I need help in so and so areas, ensure that you are giving those suggestions to us. Okay, ensure that you are giving those suggestions to us. Write those in the chat areas. Write that exactly what is troubling you in your studies, and we'll ensure that in the coming videos we are covering that point as well. Okay, before going forward, just ensure that you're writing tests. Okay, tests are your main practice weapon. Okay, main practice weapon is something that students highly underestimate. Students feel, okay, I just study. Test, I will write the main exam as the test. Okay, everybody who takes up a big task, okay, does something called as simulation. Okay, you must have heard this word called as simulation. What is simulation? Simulation is creating an exact situation of the exact situation. So the exact situation that is going to happen in the future, but you're creating it right now itself. Okay. For example, Formula 1 drivers, the car racing, okay, they have a simulation system where they sit at a place and they are basically looking and they are driving the car in that exact same track when their next race is going to be. There's a practice that is very famous in Formula 1 that is called simulation. Astronauts, when they have to travel outside the Earth, at that time also, they have to go through a simulation. Basically, there will be a place wherein there will be situations which they are facing with, which is similar to that what is going to be outside. And they put all the same problems, all the same issues that may happen outside the earth. Okay. So similarly, every person who does simulation is of course well prepared because you are facing that exact same situation beforehand. So tests are your main weapon. It is the simulation. It is the simulation for your CA Inter or the CA final exam that you're going to write. So you have to ensure that you're simulating everything. So you have to simulate not only the paper, you have to simulate what is there with you at that time to drink. For example, you have this bottle of water, you can drink that. Maybe if you have to sit at a place, you have to create the same climate conditions also. So if you have AC at home, then switch it off. Don't keep it on when you're writing the test, because in the exam hall, you will not be having the AC on. Okay. You'll be having a fan on. Create a situation where, suppose if you get a center and the electricity goes off, okay, electricity goes off, ensure that your fan is switched off and you're writing a paper, entire paper with the fan switched off. This is basically what you're training yourself for. Okay. There's a very good video of Abhinav Bindra, okay, on YouTube. You can go there. It is on the official Olympics channel. You can just type Olympics Abhinav Bindra on YouTube. It's a fantastic video. Highly recommend for all the students to watch it during their break time whenever they are not studying. Watch that video. In that video, he says that he simulated everything before his Olympic gold medal match. Okay, he simulated everything, even the situation where suppose if the surface on which he's standing, in shooting, I hope you know that Abhinav Bindra is a 10-meter air rifle shooter. Okay, so what he did is the base where he was standing, even if that wobbles a little bit, okay, even if that moves a little bit, he simulated that condition also. He had simulated many other issues that can happen. Suppose if his gun doesn't start working, or if there is some technical issue with his gun. So how will he, replace the parts and quickly, ensure that he is not wasting much time. So all these things he simulated, and that's why he won the gold medal. So every champion, I know you are a champion. So every champion simulates the condition very, very well. So ensure that you are simulating the condition in such a way that you are facing the exam kind of situation. So switch off the fan. One of the tests, just switch off the fan and see what you're experiencing, how much you're sweating, whether you're facing any problem while writing. In one of the tests, don't keep the bottle of water with you. 3 hours without drinking water, just write the test. Let's say you forgot the bottle of water and there, let's say the bottle of water facility is not available, or if it is available, it is 2 floors down or 2 floors up and you don't have time to go down or up, then you have to write that exam without the water for 3 hours. Then simulate a condition where you're not going to use the bottle of water for 3 hours. You have to put yourself under pressure. Okay. Simulate the situation so that you are writing well. Okay. So write tests and simulate the conditions very, very well. I would like to thank you all, tell a big thanks to all of you and tell you all the very best for your preparation. Okay. As I said, give us more suggestions. Okay. We'll be very, very happy to take your suggestions about the areas that you would want to hear from us. The problems that you're facing, the issues that you're dealing with, tell us about that. And I'll be very, very happy to solve that issue for you. Okay. Ensure that you're doing this very well. Okay. I am CA Kartik Iyer. I teach audit and law for CA Inter and CA Final students. I would like to see you very soon on Unacademy. Subscribe to my, follow me on Unacademy. Basically download the app, follow me, so that whenever I'm coming and teaching, you can see me live and we can learn together. Okay. I wish you all the very best, my dear students. Do well. Bye.